Trades right here on ET now, still discussing the Motown report card for the month of November. So let me now welcome on board Vinod Aggarwal, MD and CEO at VECV, joining in on the show right now to talk about how their performance has been. Vinod, great to have you on ET now. And once again, solid numbers, 37% growth year on year. And the auto sales in November looked very good and much ahead of the street estimates, I must say. What is it that you think is acting as a tailwind, and whether this kind of growth you think is actually sustainable?
Absolutely. Last month has been the bumper month for the commercial vehicle industry, and the 3.5 ton and above industry has grown by 30%, and as you rightly mentioned, we have grown by 37%. Now, what is contributing to this? I think it is absolutely the positive sentiments in the market, increasing domestic consumption, and of course, GST rates rationalization is definitely contributing to this. And of course, economy is growing, and the second quarter growth has been 8.2%, which is absolutely a very good number. And we are very optimistic about the future as well. And so therefore, it's great going for the entire auto industry.
Right. Mr. Aggarwal, hi, this is Harsha. Let me get a sense of what's happening on the export front. This 75% growth that you've clocked, give us a sense as to whether this base that you've now built for yourself is sustainable, and whether and what are the geographies, etc., which are aiding or behaving as a tailwind to the kind of numbers you're clocking in exports.
Exports, if you go a few years back, we had the entire industry had bottomed out for exports out of the country. As if you compare to 18-19, industry had dropped by almost 65% till around 2 years back, and then it started growing, and now the industry is growing very well. This year, the industry, overall industry, has grown by maybe around 35-37%. And as against that, we have grown by around 50%. And of course, last month it was 75%. However, the bases are still small. This 75% growth we are comparing with last year number of only 405, and this year we are at 700 plus. But these are still the numbers lower than our earlier peak numbers. If you recall, in 18-19 we had exported 10,000 trucks and buses, and even with this type of growth, this year till now we have exported around 4,500. So therefore, I would say still more growth has to come in the industry, and of course we will also continue to grow better than the industry. And our growth is coming from the newer markets as well as from our traditional markets of South Asia like Bangladesh and Nepal. And in Nepal, there also had been some pre-buying because they are moving to now BS6. And so there was a lot of pre-buying in last 1 or 2 months. So therefore, that also has contributed to higher growth in last few months. Going forward, maybe Nepal growth will taper down. At the same time, there is good growth coming from Middle East. African markets are doing all right. And Bangladesh market is improving, even though there are always a lot of ups and downs in Bangladesh, but still it is much better than the earlier bottomed out markets in Bangladesh. So therefore, overall, I think there is big room for growth in exports.
Great to hear that. So, Mr. Aggarwal, I recall your earnings call post Q2, and you did tell us that H2 is going to be better than H1. Is H2 indeed now turning out to be better than H1, looking at how November's performance has been? And do you think recovery is going to be faster than anticipation?
We are expecting that, but we should keep one thing in mind that last year also, last 4 months were bumper months. So therefore, the base, as we go forward, the base also increasing. Then we will compare with the higher base growth. Last year, last 4 months, the industry was almost, it was 3.5 ton and above. It was 196,000, which comes to around 50,000 per month. If you look at last month, which is also a very big bumper month and growth of 30% in the industry size is 44,000. So therefore, next 4 months, you have to book growth against the base of an average of 49-50,000 per month. So therefore, I would say that we will not have, may not have the growth like 30%, but of course, we are expecting there should be good, I would say, strong single digit or good double digit growth in the balance 4 months because of the positive sentiments and the economy doing well. Infrastructure investments still have to happen a lot because out of the government budget of 11 lakh crores plus, I think till date, till October end, it was only around 600,000 lakh crores only, 6 lakh crores only. So therefore, we are expecting more investments to happen in infrastructure. There will be more replacements happening because the newer trucks are much more productive. The fleet has to now renewed, and of course the vehicles are also running much more than they were running earlier. So therefore, replacements also will happen faster. So we are very positive about the future.
Okay, Mr. Aggarwal, thank you so much for joining us this morning, giving us that perspective. Of course, auto stocks in focus, and we had both of those. Bajaj